Malkos is an evening melody. It's funny. I've seen a lot of people online talk about Malkos being kind of like a easy rag in the sense that it's like, oh yeah, it's only pentatonic. It's only orav orav. It has 5 notes ascending and 5 notes descending. So it's really easy to play, and there's not really many rules. So it's like there seems to be 2 schools of thought, where it's like one is that it's an easy rag to jump into and play, and you can play whatever you want, and you kind of get freedom that way. And then there's the more serious expression, which is the serious take of potentially the jinn harming you if you play it incorrectly. Chandranandan, my Baba's raga, as far as discovering it, creating it, however you want to say that. Malkons, Nandakosh, Koshikanra, and Chandrakons. These rags are the ones that make up Chandranandan. So Malkons is one of them. Yeah, actually, for the Sarodis, so for people who are interested in like tunings and things like that, if we look at the Sarod, Nire Gasa, in the Sarod, the way that we tune our Jawari strings, since Re isn't in the rag, you could potentially leave it in there, but it starts to become problematic. The melodies themselves are, you can look at them almost as entities, as individuals, as beings, living, evolving beings, which I think is a very beautiful aspect to this music. It's sort of like an esoteric concept, though, that you could have melodies that are living and breathing and changing with time and growing. So the concept behind that, though, is that some days the melodies, these ragas themselves, will be different. So the moods the ragas have may be different based on their feeling in the day, as interpreted by the musician when they're rendering the ragas. So when you're doing something like this, for example, right, from on the Sarod at least, this Gama Dha, you do have to go through Pa. It's not like you just don't. So in this example, my finger's still sliding over Pa, which is right here. But the idea is that you're not getting the feeling of Pa as I'm doing something like this. I'm not doing it slowly where you're getting a feeling of Pa. And I'm not doing ornaments around this type of thing. Right? I'm not making Pa any sort of showcase. And I'm not even really trying to hint at it so much. And we'll see what Dad does in this and see if he goes and shows more of these types of ornaments where he does more andalin around Ha or andalin around Ma that makes you kind of get the feeling of Pa. So like ornaments like this, right? Here's an example of one. So right here, check this part out. So this is something that is definitely challenging on the Sarod. He's sliding off the Pa string. And so the trick is, how do you do that without making the Pa ring? There's no tivrama. So what you're getting is this Sa Komal Ga, Shuddhama, Komal Dha, Komal Ni, and then Sa. Okay, so he does this part here where, when it comes to the Ga, Re, this ornament in particular, this Ga, Re, Ga, it's not really Ga, Re, Ga. It's the idea of doing this slide where, if you can see my hand, And then he goes into this whole section where he, changes the kind of mood and scope and goes. And he starts doing this whole thing where he's exploring in the ornaments. And this is one of Baba's things, is that he'll constantly be moving, not sporadically. It's, he said it, and I've said it before quoting him, but you shouldn't get bored. And if you are bored and you're playing, or once it's boring, move on. So switching dynamics again. Back to these kind of longer slides, right? And then back to more energy. He's younger. He does lots of bowl patterns though. So there's certain things that can make it sound like it's faster. And for Sarod, these things around here, when it's like you're kind of in the, what we would call like the first position, so to speak, of the instrument. And you can get into fun bowl patterns and things like that.